You know the Skywalker saga. You've watched the solo story. Now comes the tale that you never knew you even needed, and maybe still don't, and won't ever need. Tales from the Millennial Falcon!
Hey guys, I have a meh feeling about this.
I think there's an app for that. Are you sure you know how to drive this ratchet pile of junk?
Don't you get salty with me. Yes, I know how to drive this. I was class president for 2 years.
Use the Force.
Ooh, I like that. That is on fleek. I'm going to finsta that right now. Use the Force. Post. I could really go for a vegan pork pie right about now.
The Millennial Falcon, coming to a theater near you soon, and starring 7 famous guys, all named Chris.
Excuse me? I'm not a guy, and I would appreciate it if you did not categorize me as such. I identify more with droids.
So glad I graduated with honors so I could become a Kunda stone smuggler. Do you mind if I turn on some Death Star for Cutie? Or My Chemical Rancor? I've got all sorts of feels right now.
I can't even with you today, but can we swing by the thrift shop? I want to look for a used Dejara table. You stand there in your black helmet and your black cape, and you just leave the princess alone. Leave her alone. What has she done to you? All she does is give. And you put her in this planet-shaped cell. Leave the princess alone. Ah! Hello, everybody, and welcome to another mini episode of the Above Average Joe Show. I'm your host, Joe, as always, and today our special guest is going to be Gabby Stein. How are you doing, Gabby?
I'm doing so great. How are you?
I am doing awesome. I am so excited to be doing this with you because this is actually 2 things that I haven't done before in this podcast and all of the other podcasts that I've done. One, we are actually recording this over Skype, which is new for me. Everything else has been either in person or via phone. And then number 2, you are the first person that I'm talking to in California that's working out of LA. Everybody else that I've talked to has been working out of the Atlanta area.
Oh, wow. Well, hello from LA.
2 firsts for us.
Awesome.
This is awesome.
Glad to be here.
I am glad that you could make it. Because we've been trying to get together now for 2 weeks to record this, which is also great now that we've got our schedules together. Because being in different time zones and different schedules and crazy lives that we have.
Yes, sometimes things can get a little wacky, but, you know, it's good that we're able to make time for each other because you've always been a good friend to me and I miss you.
But we're going to talk to you about your stunt work to start off with. Because you've been doing stunt work for a couple of years now, and at least a couple of years. Yes. And one of the projects that you worked on, one of the first projects that I'm aware of at least, was the Darkest Minds. Yes,
that was the second project that I got after I got my SAG card. And, you know, every day it was something different. It was, sometimes it was me being on heights. I don't know if you've seen the movie, but there's a camp where all these special ability kids are put because they're quote unquote dangerous, and they live in these train cars and have us walking around and doing stuff. And then that would be during the day. And sometimes we would be doing rehearsals. I would have to do some wire work, so we would get pulled. But at nighttime, that was when the real fun happened. There was lots of running, lots of fire. We did some falling. There was this one scene, I'm not sure if it made it into the movie. I know I'm so bad. We're running out of a train car, and it's a bunch of us stunt kids, and there's this sound that goes off. And when this sound goes off, which in real life, they pretty much just go, sound! but in the movie, it's supposed to be some really awful, high-pitched sound that messes with the kids. So we're all running out of this train car, and they go, sound. So when the sound happens, all of the kids, or the stunt kids at least, we fall. We stop and we fall where we are. So there was at least 4 or 5 of us on this ramp that's coming out of this train car. And it's up in flames pretty much. And we're running out, and so the sound happens. I slip and I fall onto the platform, and then I roll off and fall onto the ground, and while I'm just grabbing my ears because of the sound, I'm crawling on my hands and knees. This huge army guy comes over and he tases me. So he doesn't really tase me. He just, puts this thing on my body, and then I have to shake like he was tasing me. And then so I go limp, and then he picks me up like a rag doll, and it's pretty cool. It's as cool as it sounds. My friend took pictures, and it looks really cool. And so he picks me up like a rag doll, brings me back over to the ramp that leads out of the train car, throws me down on the ground next to this other stunt kid who's already getting tased and manhandled. Tases me again.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, and then he throws me over on my stomach, ties my hands behind my back, picks me up again like a rag doll, and runs off screen. And I go, cut! And then the stunt coordinator and all these people are coming up to the stunt people, or the stunt kids, because we're the ones who took the beating, yes, the force. And they come up to us, and they're all checking, and they're like, are you okay? And I go, yeah, let's do it again if we need to. So we did that, about 4 or 5 times, because the train car was on fire and we could only do it so many times.
So they were using live fire at the time too? It wasn't CGI fire put in post?
Correct. It was live fire.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It was some of the most amazing experiences I've ever had on a set. Just and having that opportunity, I will forever hold that with me. No matter what else happens, even though that was technically my second stunt opportunity so far, that has really stuck with me. And I'm so grateful to Jack and Andy Gill. If you've ever worked with them, I know you've heard of them. Everybody has. They are freaking amazing guys. Thank you so much.
And then you also got to work on a Madea movie.
Yes, I did. That was my first stunt. That was Madea Boo 2. So at the time, I had been training for 5 years. This was in 2017. I've been training for 5 years, but I was also working as a production assistant, which I know is a little frowned upon, but you had to make your money some way, and I felt like I didn't want to go back to being a stand-in and a background, knowing everything that I did and wanting to keep moving up instead of moving back, even though being a background actor and being a stand-in would give me more flexibility. I just, in a way, it held me back a little bit, but I think I did it the right way.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I was saying I was training for 5 years at the time, and I was a production assistant on this show called Den of Thieves. So worked, I don't know, gosh, it was like a 15-hour day as usual, because that movie has hella stunts. And I mean, the cast was huge. I was the first team PA. I was taking care of 10 guys. 10, sorry, men, huge men on that show.
That is a phenomenal movie too, by the way.
Oh yeah, that was
Den of
actually
Thieves,
really good.
I loved.
I did like that movie a lot, and everyone was so great. They're making a second one, but I'm getting sidetracked. So I came home. I was about to get in bed because I was working on a commercial the next day, and I get a call. How tall are you? How much do you weigh?
You know, the normal phone call that comes in before bed.
Yes. How tall are you? How much do you weigh?
What are you wearing?
No, that would be something.
That's a different phone call.
Yeah, exactly. We're not going to get into that today. That's for next time. That's for not a mini episode. That's for a full-scale episode. But anyway, so, you know, when it comes to stunts, especially when you're actually for anything really, stunts, even standing in, background, acting, whatever, it's how tall are you, you know, your sizes, and then what are you capable of? So that was the gist of it. What are my sizes? What am I capable of? And then it was, can you be at Tyler Perry Studios right now? And I'm like, well, technically right now I can't, but give me about half an hour and I will be there. They said, okay. So I put my clothes back on. I grabbed my stunt bag, which every stunt person has a stunt bag, and headed to Tyler Perry Studios.
And when you say stunt bag, what are you referring to as stunt bag? What kind of things do you keep in your stunt bag?
In my stunt bag, okay. What do I have in my stunt bag is all of my pads. I have a back pad, which is a pad. It's technically made for motocross, but it's actually really good for stunts, for falling on your back, if you can afford it under your wardrobe, because especially when it comes to females, you can't always wear certain pads. I have elbow and knee pads, which I have both soft and hard. I also have these hip gel pads, and then I have a spine and a tailbone pad. So I have all these different pads just in case I have to fall. And like I said, if I can afford it with the clothing that I'm wearing, which I was doing something a couple of weeks ago for a show called Crypt TV, and they were having me do my own stunts. And unfortunately, because of my outfit, which I can't get into right now, well, that'll be next episode, I wasn't able to afford wearing any pads, and it sucked, but you know, I was able to do it, and I was really happy with my work, and they were really happy with their work, and you get up and you move on.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, that's what I have in my stunt bag. Lots and lots of pads.
So back to the story. You grabbed your stunt bag. You're heading down to Tyler Perry Studios.
Yes, so I get there, and I have no idea what I'm doing, mind you. I get there, I get to where I'm supposed to go. I don't even fill out my paperwork. They throw me in the hair and makeup chair. So this woman starts doing my hair and makeup. Again, I have no idea what the heck I'm doing. So I have to tell you, it's midnight by now. It's past midnight by now. That's how late it was.
And you're just starting your day.
And I'm just starting my day on
On
my
your second
on
set.
my second set. So, so I get in the makeup and hair, and it takes. I think it took like at least 2 hours.
Wow.
And then they go, okay, time to bring you to set. And then they go, okay, we're breaking for lunch. After lunch, all of us stunt people and our stunt coordinator Jan Dran, he brings us and we start rehearsing for me to do this stunt, which is not the stunt that I end up doing in the movie, but it's pretty funny because for at least half an hour to an hour, we were rehearsing this stunt, which is for me to, I think they actually used somebody else for this footage because I saw the movie and it made it in the movie. There was actually 2 stunt doubles for the ring-looking type of girl in Madea Butu. But the stunt was to be hit by a slow-moving car, roll over the hood, and fall off the other side. So I practiced that for at least half an hour. And they were like, are you comfortable? Are you cool? Are you cool? And I was like, yeah, it's great. So we're all waiting there. And I don't know what happened. I guess they decided not to reshoot it. I guess they liked what they had, or if they did reshoot it, it wasn't me, whatever. So we get to where the set is, because where we were rehearsing was somewhere a little ways. It's Fort McPherson, so this place is huge.
Okay, yeah.
We get to the set, and it's more standing around, and I'm waiting for them to tell me what to do. And then finally we get to something that they want me to do. And it's really funny because they go, can you climb up there? And up there so there's this huge lake at Fort McPherson, which, Tyler Perry Studios now. And so that was part of their Madea Butu set, was this creepy ass lake. So, because it's a Halloween movie, obviously. So, right on the other side of this lake from the party, they built this outhouse, which, if you don't know what an outhouse is, for all you listeners out there, it's where you go, number 1 and number 2. It's an old time porta potty. Okay. So anyway, Mr. Perry goes, can you climb up there? And I say Mr. Perry because that's,
Yeah. Courtesy. Respect.
Exactly.
Formalities.
Exactly. But you always say Mr. Perry anyway. So anyway, Mr. Perry says, can you get up there? And I said, yes, sir. So I climbed up to the top of this outhouse, and there's this sort of platform up in the top that I'm hanging on or sitting on, and then there's a window just behind me, and then there's a couple of beams in front of me. So they go, well, can you like dangle yourself over the top and reach down towards her when she starts going to the bathroom? And I was like, okay. So I stick my feet behind me in the window, and I position myself safely and carefully on these beams. And you can even see it in the Madea Butu trailer. I reach down, and my fingers are all like, I can sort of manipulate my fingers to look a little creepy. And I reach down and I start grabbing towards her, and she looks up and she screams and she runs out into the lake. And that was it.
But you had to practice getting hit by a car.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
How do you practice that? Do you have somebody that's just like driving at a low speed running into you? Do you practice like running at the car and jumping
Yeah,
and rolling
so
across it? Or how do you practice getting hit by a car safely?
well, when we were rehearsing, it was a parked car that they had me running at full speed. And then so I would run into it like it hit me. I would roll over the top, like literally rolling over, and then fall onto the ground.
Cool. Well, awesome. It has been such a pleasure talking and catching up with you again, Gabby. As always, love you.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. I love you too, and I can't wait to do another one of these sometime.
Awesome. Before we go, though, we also need to plug some of your social media, don't we?
Oh, yeah, we could do that.
So how do they follow you and catch up with you and keep up with you and friend you, or however you want to do it? How do people find you on your social medias?
Okay, well, I have an Instagram, which I connect to everything, and it's The Real Gabstar. Did you need me to spell that out for you?
Spell that out for our listeners, because we don't
Okay.
know how many B's are going to be in that.
Oh, yeah. So it's TheRealGabstar. Get
Yeah,
it?
I totally would have spelled that wrong. I'm glad I had you spell it out for everybody.
Yeah, it's it's a fun one. I gotta have fun.
Cool. Well, thank you everybody for listening and tuning in. Thank you for checking out our podcast once again. Thank you, Gabby, one more time for hanging out and talking with everybody.
Thank you.
And we will see you all next week on another episode of the Above Average Joe Show.
Woo! Bye.
Thank you once again to our special guest, Gabby Stein. And be sure that you check out our Facebook, Instagram, and our Twitter. Look for us on Spotify, Stitcher, and iTunes. And you can also check out another podcast that I co-host, The Extra Unordinary, and some other great media content by Moon Possum Productions at moonpossum.com. I found the photo of when we first met.
A diesel?
Yes.
Ah!